A lot of water there, huh?
You want to say hello today?
Yeah, look,
You want
who's
to say
that?
hello
Look.
today?
Who's that? Yeah, there you go.
Oops. No.
Yeah. Who's that? No.
He's
Let's go, Mike.
wagging his
Come on.
tail today.
Yeah,
Oh,
really?
no.
Yeah. There you go. Who's that, huh?
You okay? All right, all right.
Hey, have a good day.
Alright, this is the 1st of August, first week of August, and we've had some rain showers over the last week or so, so we have this big puddle right at the beginning of our trail here, so we'll see if we can get around it. We've had several days where it's been very hot and humid, so in those days Columbo usually doesn't go for a very long walk. I leave it up to him. If he gets too warm and he wants to turn around, and that's what we do. Some days he likes to go for his long walk. Other days it's just too warm for him. So there's been a lot of ATV traffic on these trails this summer, so the surface has been pretty well packed down, but there's a few spots like the one we just passed that are shallow and bowl shaped, so they collect water. Not a lot of good drainage. This is pretty dense clay soil, so the puddles stay around for several days, and it's too humid for them to evaporate. So that's the major navigation challenge on these trails. They're pretty flat. I have a number of basic hiking videos in process. I've been working on my 100 highest mountains, and I've tried to shoot video on those trails, but many of them are very steep and rocky and rooty, so the images vibrate a lot or just out of focus because I have to use my hands sometimes. Use both my hands, both my trekking poles to navigate some of the spots, so I haven't mastered the technique of holding the camera and navigating those tough spots and managing the camera. So I've had to delete a lot of footage. I'm going to have to spin around here because I got tangled up in the leash. Columbo doesn't have the concept that if he crosses behind me that creates a problem. So I do have a couple of videos in process, editing and so forth, but what I've done is on some of the trails that have some nice smooth sections, I've just shot some footage of those, of the trail, some brooks, and any other kind of interesting things that I see alongside of the trail. And what I'll do is use those as the basic video and do voiceovers. I don't particularly care to do videos where I sit up in a room and put the camera on a tripod and just sit there and be a talking head. That's not my intent. I want to show some of the outdoors. Part of the purposes of doing this channel is to take people who currently aren't doing anything outside and try to give them some visual incentive to get outdoors. So I had thought about documenting some of my mountain climbs. As I said, I don't have the video skills or the technical skills to do that. When I'm negotiating those tough trails, I need all my hands and feet and everything else, and can't fool around with the camera. I do get some summit pictures, some of the panoramic mountains that have 360-degree views. I can now shoot a video of that instead of taking 15 or 20 photos by stepping a little bit around in a circle. I can now just do a video, so I can use some of those. Oh, I coughed up something, if you heard that. So today's not too hot, but it is very humid. You can tell it's humid when you step outside. You haven't even taken 10 steps and we got a coating of perspiration all over your arms and legs. So I haven't even done anything yet. Oh, so well, his tongue hangs out a lot, so it's not just the heat and humidity, but it is a little bit worse. Here's another one of those little spots along the trail. A little low spot. Still very muddy. It had mostly dried out. We had a week where we had a shower or thunderstorm every day for the week, and collected a lot of water that week. Then we had a dry spell, but we had a shower yesterday or the day before, so that's where all of this water came from. But those spots, when there's not water in them, they're still muddy. Columbo doesn't particularly care to go through the water, but he doesn't recognize the mud, so I sometimes have to steer him away from that. So another couple of spots here. The bicycle tire through that one. I don't know if you can see the track. So there are people who come out here on mountain bikes as well. I noticed some of the ATVers kind of like going through the muddy spots. That big puddle on the first turn that we saw right at the beginning of the video, during that rainy week, a lot of the water actually was displaced out of that puddle because all the ATVs that went through it made big splashes, so the side of the trail was all wet, and even 3 or 4 feet into the woods from all the flashing, and all that was left on the trail was just a big mud spot, not a puddle. But okay, so this way. It's drier on the right side. So I did meet, on one of my hikes, I did meet a couple. They were on a flat section of trail. Actually, it was an access trail to get to the mountain trail I was going to go up. So there were a lot of tourist families and so forth on that trail. It's rather flat, fairly short. There was a nice stream, nice pretty mountain stream along that trail, so a lot of people are walking along the trail to get to the stream and just have a nice easy hike. You know, people in their regular clothes, flip-flops or tennis shoes, no packs, no water, no poles, you know, just out for a walk. Anyway, one couple had a beagle with them, and So I said, he was walking ahead of them, he came up to me and being friendly, so I said, oh, I have your cousin at home. So I was talking to him and the owners came up and I mentioned that I tell them a little bit about Columbo, and they said, well, how come you don't bring him out on the trail? And, well, he's probably not a good trail dog. He's getting kind of old, and if he goes off leash, he follows everywhere. So this is going to die because the low battery light is flashing. So this will just be a little update, a little bit of Columbo, a little bit of current trail conditions, and I'll be getting a couple of beginner hiking videos out as soon as I can. So we'll have to say so long for now.